Good morning, brothers and sisters. Today is September 13th, the morning of September 13th. I had a crazy vision last night. I shared it in another video about the moon, and I'm still just pondering what I saw and the significance of it and the timing of it. It's really profound, but this video is about another vision I had. I wouldn't say it was like a full-on out-of-body type experience, this one I'm about to talk about. It was more of it was certainly above a dream. It was something that I've remembered, and I believe it was from the Lord, and I believe it was a glimpse of what the world might look like during the tribulation. And I've always held on to this, and I've shared it with a lot of people. And in the vision, in this dream, I was on the beaches of Camp Pendleton, and all the power was out, like an EMP had gone off, and only radios were working. And for some reason in this dream, I was a Marine, or I was at least in a Marine uniform. I was on the beach, and you could hear these big Russian bombers. Well, I didn't know they were Russian bombers at the time. You could hear the drone of these huge bombers coming off in the distance. We're looking out into the Pacific Ocean, and you could hear these things before they were coming. And before I knew it, these huge bombers were flying real low, and they were Russian, or China. I believe they were Russian, and they were coming towards us. And they flew right over our head, and I was in a sand bunker trying to shoot this thing, just like it was like World War II. And they went inland. They flew over heads and flew inland. And the big takeaways from this dream, I'm getting the chills right now, guys. I believe this is the Holy Spirit. The big takeaways from this dream was that an EMP had gone off. The only communications we had were radios, and I was trying to communicate with the other Marines via radio. And at one point in the dream, I had to run from one sand bunker. I had to sprint on foot in the sand to the other sand bunker just to get communications to these other Marines. And it was also interesting. I just realized lately, at the time this happened, the bunkers on the beaches were already set up. I don't know if this was Del Mar Beach or Camp Pendleton or a beach south of there, but it was a Southern California beach. The bunkers were already set up, and Marines were already hunkered down in these bunkers. So a lot had happened before I even had this dream. But the power was definitely out. And at the time, I did not know anything about the Russian, I guess they're called the Bear bombers, these big 4-engine, they're like a B-29 Fortress. They're huge, but they're Russian. You can look it up. It's called the Bear bomber, I believe. It's a really archaic plane. I believe it's a Cold War era bomber. They're like these big radial motored planes that I think they're like carbureted. I don't even know if they're fuel injected. They're just old school planes, but Russia still flies them. I actually looked it up. And it was just interesting. It was kind of a confirmation after I had the dream that these planes existed. And since then, I've come to understand what these planes are. And Russia still flies them. In fact, just recently, they've been buzzing our coastlines the last year or two with these same exact planes. So in this dream, they were hitting us hard. And it was almost like they had to wait for the EMP to go off for them to have any type of effective attack on us. And it was just, they were hitting us hard. It was chaos. And there was certainly no power, no electricity. There was just radio transmissions only. And the EMP had gone off, and it was like an old school World War II-style invasion. And, I don't think any country could invade our country like that if they had knocked out the power first. And since then, this was before the North Korea nuclear testing and all that. So things are ramping up to the point where, I believe this will be during a tribulation event, World War III. And a lot of people are starting to have these uniformed visions of World War III and chaos after or during the tribulation period. So I just want to share this. I feel like the Father is telling me, Joe, I've given you some visions. Now is the time to get them out there. If not for the pre-tribulation people, maybe someone in the tribulation will be hearing this. Even if assuming we have internet and power. I'm just trying to be obedient, guys. I haven't shared these visions with a lot of people, but I believe now is the time. Things are ramping up. You guys know better than I do. Things are ramping up in all kinds of ways, not just on the war front, but in the spiritual. The intensity. People are having visions and dreams. Anyways, I just want to share that with you guys. The timer on my video is going to turn off here. So, all right. See you.